I was 48 when I broke my own heart. Isn't that a strange thing to say? To break your own heart, as if it were a glass you could drop, watch it shatter, and sweep the pieces under the rug before anyone notices. I did that, though, swept it all away, and for 25 years, no one has known. Not my husband, not my children, not even the man I betrayed him with. Do you ever wonder what it feels like to carry a secret so heavy it bends your spine? Let me tell you, it was 2000, and we were living in a small house in a quiet town in upstate New York, the kind with clapboard siding and a front yard where the roses bloomed wild, their scent thick in the summer air. My husband, Thomas, was a good man, still is, in his steady way. He taught mathematics at the local high school, wore the same faded blue cardigan every Monday, and came home at 6:15 p.m. sharp, his old Ford pickup rattling into the driveway. We had 2 daughters, Emily and Sarah, both in their teens, full of dreams and complaints about their boring mother. I was a seamstress, stitching dresses for neighbors, my fingers pricked raw by needles, my eyes straining under the dim light of a single bulb. Life was ordinary, predictable, safe, or so I thought. Have you ever felt like your life was a script you didn't write? That summer, a man named Daniel came to our town. He was a photographer, hired to document the annual county fair. He had a way of moving, slow, deliberate, like he was measuring the world with his eyes. He was 42, unmarried, with a smile that felt like a secret meant only for you. I met him at the farmer's market, where I was buying peaches, my hands sticky with juice. He asked me to hold still for a photograph. "You have a face that tells a story," he said. I laughed, embarrassed, but I stood there, letting him frame me against the chaos of the market stalls. Do you know what it's like to be seen, really seen? After years of being invisible, we started talking. At first, it was nothing, small conversations about the weather, the fair, the way the river smelled at dusk. But then it became something else. He'd stop by my sewing stall in the garage, pretending to need a button fixed, lingering longer than necessary. I'd find myself waiting for him, my heart racing when I heard his boots on the gravel. Thomas never noticed. He was too busy grading papers, humming old jazz tunes, living in the world we'd built together. But I was slipping out of that world, step by step, into one where Daniel's voice filled the cracks in my heart. Can you imagine loving someone so much you forget who you are? One afternoon, Daniel asked me to meet him by the river. It was a hot day, the kind where the air clings to your skin like damp cotton. I told Thomas I was going to buy thread. A lie, small but sharp, like a splinter under my nail. At the river, Daniel spread a blanket under an oak tree, its branches heavy with summer leaves. He brought a camera, a bottle of cheap wine, and 2 mismatched glasses. We talked for hours about his travels, my childhood, the dreams I'd buried under years of laundry and dishes. He touched my hand, and I didn't pull away. Have you ever felt a moment so electric it burns? That was the beginning. For 3 months, we met in secret by the river, in the back room of a friend's diner, once in a rented room at a motel with a flickering neon sign and a window that wouldn't close. Each time, I told myself it was the last. Each time I went back, Daniel made me feel alive, like I was 20 again, like I was more than a wife, a mother, a seamstress. But every night, I'd come home to Thomas, cook dinner, kiss my daughters goodnight, and lie awake, staring at the ceiling, my secret clawing at me. Do you know how it feels to love 2 people at once? To hate yourself for it? I remember one night, Thomas looked at me across the dinner table and said, "You seem different lately." My heart stopped. I thought he knew, but he just smiled and said, "Happier, maybe." I nodded, my throat tight, and changed the subject. I was happier, in a way, but it was a happiness built on quicksand. Every moment with Daniel was stolen, every touch a betrayal. Yet I couldn't stop. I told myself Thomas would never find out. I told myself it didn't matter, but it did. It always does. Have you ever lied to someone you love, knowing the truth would break them? The affair ended as quietly as it began. Daniel was offered a job in Chicago, a chance to photograph for a big magazine. He asked me to come with him. For one wild, reckless moment, I considered it leaving Thomas, leaving my daughters, leaving the life I'd stitched together with my own hands. But I couldn't. I stood by the river, under that same oak tree, and told him no. He didn't argue. He just looked at me, his eyes heavy with something I couldn't name, and said, "You'll always be my best story." Then he was gone. I went home, cooked dinner, and never saw him again. Do you think it's possible to miss someone you know you shouldn't? For years, I carried that secret like a stone in my pocket. I'd see it in the mirror, in the way my hands shook when I sewed, in the dreams where Daniel's face blurred into Thomas's. Thomas never suspected. He grew older, his hair graying, his laugh softer, but he never stopped loving me. Our daughters grew up, moved away, had children of their own. I became a grandmother, rocking babies to sleep, telling them stories about rivers and stars, but I never told anyone about Daniel, not my daughters, not my friends, not even the pastor at the church where I lit candles for forgiveness. Why do we keep secrets, do you think? To protect others, or to protect ourselves? Now I'm 73, and Thomas is still here, sitting in his armchair, reading the newspaper, his glasses slipping down his nose. He doesn't know about the summer of 2000, about the woman I was for 3 months, the woman who loved someone else. I watch him sometimes, wondering what he'd say if he knew. Would he hate me? Would he forgive me? Or would he just look at me, the way he always has, with that quiet, steady love that breaks my heart all over again? I don't know. I'll never know, because I'll never tell him. Some secrets are too heavy to share, even after all these years. Have you ever kept something inside so long it becomes part of you? I think about Daniel sometimes, wondering where he is, if he's still taking photographs, if he ever thinks of me. I don't love him anymore, not the way I did, but he's there, in the corners of my memory, like a song I can't forget. The roses still bloom in our front yard, though the scent feels different now, heavier, like regret. I've lived a good life, a full life, but that summer is a shadow I'll carry to my grave. Do you believe a single choice can change who you are? So here I am, telling you this story, a confession whispered to strangers. Maybe it's easier this way, to unburden myself to you, to let these words drift into the world without a face to answer to. Maybe I'm hoping you'll understand, or judge me, or simply listen. What would you do if you were me? Would you tell the truth, risk everything, or keep it locked away, like I have? Tell me, please, because I've been carrying this too long. And if you've got a story of your own, a secret you've never told, share it with me. Let's carry these shadows together.